Okay, today we revisit Founders Brewing Company in Grand Rapids, Michigan with an old ale. It's called Curmudgeon Old Ale, coming into us at 9.8% alcohol by volume. We've, of course, done Old Stock Ale from North Coast Brewing Company. We did that quite a while back, and that was, I believe, the last old ale that we did. Of course, the style coming out of England, strong, dark, and malty kind of English style of beer. Strong alcohol aromas, usually ranging between 6% to 9%, but it can be much more, as was the case with Old Stock Ale. This one a little bit more than 9%, being 9.8%, and usually 30 to 60 IBUs. This one has 50 IBUs, so right in that range, as a matter of fact. And it was brewed way back in the olden days of England. Don't know exactly the date that they started brewing these old ales, but they are a complement, or were a complement in the English pubs to the mild ales, and a lot of times they would pair up the strong ales, which were the old ales, with the mild ales, and kind of gauge to the pub goers' liking. A lot of people used to buy up the mild ales, age them, sell them for a higher price, being more high in the alcohol by volume. This one harkens back to the old days of, let's see if it says actually on the bottle. I do have the, no, it doesn't say anything on the bottle as far as that goes, but Founders says to kind of think of the days of the seafaring ports, local pubs and weathered old fishermen, which basically, if you can see the logo here, weathered old looking fisherman, I guess, with this old ale. Brewed with molasses, and they focus a lot on the malt, not very hoppy, 50 IBUs. Number 27 on Beer Advocate as far as the most popular of the style, number 18 on Rate Beer. So let's open her up, and we'll pour it into an English pint glass, which is a very acceptable form of a vessel for this style of beer. Of course, goblet chalice is always good as well. So let's pour it into this Guinness pint glass, and we see kind of a darkish, almost a Scotch ale kind of pour. It looks very much like a Scotch ale, formulating very well on the head, which is an off-white, almost khaki kind of tan kind of color. Very syrupy looking, kind of caramely kind of looking, almost a hint of red, like almost a red ale kind of look to this beer. So let's get the smell now, the aroma of Founders Curmudgeon Old Ale. Oh man, this is an interesting smell. Extremely malty, but there's a hint of, what am I thinking here? Dare I say, an almost illegal substance kind of smell. Almost like if you were going to a Who concert kind of smell. You'd fill in the blank with what that might mean. But it's very dark, syrupy, and it must be the molasses kind of fermenting and creating this, but it just really is a unique smell. I've never smelled a beer that smelled anything like this. Extremely, extremely aged. I don't know what year this was from. I picked this up from a bottle shop. Usually in the section where they do age beers. I don't think this one was aged. This came in at $4 for one bottle, which is pretty pricey, but their prices are pretty high anyway. And you're getting a beer that's 9.8% alcohol by volume. So let's get the taste right now of Old Curmudgeon, and I don't know what to make of the aroma. If you're asking me my opinion on the aroma, I think it's a decent aroma, very, very unique. I'm getting that taste as well, that just very dark, molasses, syrupy kind of taste. Big time alcohol backbone on this beer as well. Definitely getting the malt, just big time malt bomb, basically. I'm not really getting much hoppiness at all. Maybe a hint of a tobacco-y intermixed with what I was talking about earlier. It's this very, very unique beer. I've never had a beer that tastes like this. I've had old ales before, of course. Had the North Coast Old Stock Ale before. This, by the way, I should mention, I believe it has been aged in barrels. So that might have a little something to do with the just aged kind of oaky taste to this. Very good. I'm having a hard time with the verdict on this one, but just a very, very unique beer, I would say. So I'm going to give Founders Curmudgeon Old Ale an 8.5 out of 10.